Real quick, before we get into our playoff predictions, we want to also revisit our Super Bowl picks. My pick for the Super Bowl was the Bills over the Rams. B. Scott's was the Cardinals over the Titans. And so before we get into our predictions here, what are our confidence levels on our Super Bowl picks? Mine is 50%, and you'll see why when we get into the weeds here, because I think, in my opinion, what makes it really tough is that the AFC is really anybody's game, in my opinion. I can see anybody. Heck, I could even make a case for the Pittsburgh Steelers just because, we saw what they did in 2005. We saw what they did in 2005 when they had, the retirement tour for Jerome Bettis and went in as a wild card team and did all that kind of thing. So who knows? I'm about 50%. I could go either way. I'm not ready to abandon it yet, but I'm not super confident either.
I'm probably about 30% because of the injuries that have piled up for my Super Bowl champ Arizona Cardinals.
And even, for the Titans too.
And the Titans too. I don't think either one of my teams is going to make it to honestly. The only reason why I think the Titans are the 1 seed is because Kansas City screwjacked around early on in the season and didn't turn it on until halfway through.
Right.
There was a point in the season where it's like, is Kansas City even going to make the playoffs? And then all of a sudden it was like, oh wait, here they are. They're just late to the party.
Right. So let's go ahead and get now into our playoff predictions. What we'll do is I'll go through my wild card weekend, and then B. Scott will go through his. We'll keep alternating through our playoff until we get into the Super Bowl. So for me, wild card weekend, AFC. You've got the 2-seeded Chiefs against the 7-seeded Steelers, the 3-seeded Bills against the 6-seeded Patriots, and the 4th-seeded Bengals against the 5th-seeded Raiders. For me, wild card weekend, I'm going Chiefs over Steelers. If these teams played not too long ago and the Chiefs just absolutely steamrolled Pittsburgh, and it's not one of those things where Pittsburgh was a better team and just got steamrolled. It's not like when the Browns beat the Bengals 30-0 out of nowhere earlier this season. I think the Chiefs are a better team. It's in Kansas City. And we saw what the Steelers did last year, in the postseason. So I just don't think. I think this is going to be Ben Roethlisberger's last game. I don't see them really doing anything in the postseason. The Bills, I think that first game that the Patriots won in Buffalo, 14-10, I don't think that was really indicative of what this game is going to be. The Bills, I think, are a lot better than that team that lost to the Patriots, and the Patriots were in a really good streak of the season. I think the 33-21 win by the Bills is a little bit more indicative of what we're going to see. So I've got the Bills over the Patriots, and then I've got the Raiders over the Bengals. The Bengals haven't won a playoff game in 30 years. Like I said before, I really like the fact that the Raiders are not only getting hot right now, but also winning a lot of close games, which is what you need to do in the postseason. And then in the NFC, I've got the Buccaneers. First of all, sorry, I'll give you the schedule first. You've got the 2-seeded Buccaneers against the 7-seeded Eagles, the 3-seeded Cowboys against the 6-seeded 49ers, and the 4th-seeded Rams against the 5th-seeded Cardinals. So I've got the Buccaneers over the Eagles. Not a lot to go into there. I don't think Tom Brady loses in the first round, especially not to Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. You've got, the game I waffled on the most was Cowboys and 49ers. I really badly wanted to pick the Niners here, but Dallas is 3-1 at home in the postseason since 2009. So they're good about making it through the first round, just not the second round, which, we're incrementally getting better. For a while, they couldn't get out of the first round. And then I got to, battle of our Super Bowl picks, Rams and Cardinals, I got to stick with the Rams. So I got the Rams advancing over the Cardinals and in the divisional round.
So for me, I have the Chiefs over the Steelers. It's the Chiefs. Until they prove me wrong, they're good. I am going to go with the Bills over the Patriots. I feel like the Bills are starting to click. Early in the season, they just kind of, I don't know, they didn't seem like themselves, much like the Chiefs. The Patriots started off hot, and I think they're starting to cool off. And I think that really kind of started with the loss in Indianapolis, to be honest. That really kind of took the wind out of their sails. And then I too am going to go with the Raiders over the Bengals, mostly because the running game for the Raiders is solid. If you got a lead and you just need to keep pounding away and run clock, Josh Jacobs is a really good option for that. So I feel like I feel pretty good about the Raiders winning it. However, the biggest kink that's going to be thrown into the armor for some of these potential games, depending on when the Kansas City and Pittsburgh game and the Cincinnati and Oakland games are played, there could be potential snowstorms happening if these games are being played on Saturday or early Sunday in different places. I don't think that really affects the Chiefs and the Steelers too much because both of those teams know how to play in bad weather. But the Bengals and the Raiders, that game could get interesting because the Raiders play in the desert and inside, but the Bengals at the same time have a lot of players from SEC country. So
True.
that could be interesting. But I have the Raiders advancing. Just they have a little bit more experience and they seem to be playing with a pretty good chip on their shoulder. I think out of all the games in the AFC, that one wild card weekend, that one's going to be the most entertaining because that one's going to be the most back and forth affair. On the NFC side of things, the Bucks over the Eagles. Like I said, the Eagles are an intriguing team, but for the future, not right now. It's still Tom Brady in the playoffs. Enough said there. I do have the Cowboys over the 49ers. The Cowboys, it depends on which team you have showing up, but I think for them to be able to rest a lot of their guys in week 18 was a good thing for them. They weren't having to really play for anything at that point. So get some guys, get some rest and get healthy, and that really sets them up well. In the battle of our Super Bowl champs, I have to go with the LA Rams.
Ooh, abandoned ship on the Cardinals.
Mostly because of the injury bug that has hit the Cardinals, and it's hard to overcome some of these injuries. I mean, look, J.J. Watt out for the entire season. So I don't know. I still, I think on the NFC side of things, this game is going to be the most exciting game as well, and it'll be close in a back and forth affair as well. But ultimately, I think the Rams come out on top just because just a little bit more experience, especially at the quarterback position. I know he doesn't have much postseason experience, but when you have a connection like Stafford and Cooper Kupp have right now, I mean, that's going to be a tough one to shut down. Especially if the Cardinals had trouble shutting down on the final drive of the Colts game, Carson Wentz and Desmond Patman, and they could have some issues.
Also, I just lost my train of thought. Never mind. All right. So moving on to the no DeAndre Hopkins either for the Cardinals. That's also a big blow for them.